Hello again, this is John from FunKing.com and welcome to another installation of our video website reviews. This week we're going to cheat just a little bit by reviewing our own website, but we're actually going to focus in on a new feature which we're very excited about and I think will prove to be very valuable in your investment research and hopefully in your portfolio construction and asset allocation. What am I talking about? Well, if you go to the research button up here at the top and give that a click, you'll end up at our research page, and this is a page where we have some of the new ideas that we're working on. And the new idea that we're working on this week that we're very excited about is the spider components. Now, just a quick word, we're making this spider components page only available to gold and silver members. That means you have to pay for it. Now, the silver membership will give you 1 month non-renewable free access, but we spent a lot of time and effort to put this thing together, and we actually are going to ask you to pay for this one. Now, how did this come about? A little bit of background here because it's important to understand. When we put together the FundKing system, we were thinking primarily in terms of universes of mutual funds and ETFs. However, as we promoted this to people, as we promoted this to customers, one of the feedback items that came back was how can we apply the FundKing system to individual equities? And one of the scenarios that spoke to us, that made a lot of sense to us, was the period of 1968 to 1982 in the US markets. If you look at the S&P 500, it really went nowhere from start to finish, but there were a lot of moves in between. There was a lot of volatility and a lot of sector rotation, and that gave us the idea that yes, we think the FundKing system can be applied to this situation because we think we're in very similar market circumstances. So without further ado, let's go and see how we've taken the 15 spider sector ETFs. And what you do is you click on this page, and that will take us here. Across the top, you'll see the tickers for the 15 spider ETFs, and these are the sub-sectors of the S&P 500. Range below, you'll see the top 10 ranked stocks for each of these ETFs. Below, you get a bit more information, so that'll give you the rankings. If you want a little bit of more information to see how it works, because these ETFs are not familiar to everybody, you have the names, you have the current ETF rating, and this ETF rating is for the ETF itself. So you can trade the system two ways. You can either just use the ETF ratings here to create a portfolio, or you can go in and create a portfolio with the individual component stocks. So without further ado, let's see how this looks. We're just going to look at the XLB, the Materials Select Sector Spider, and we'll go right here, and you can see the XLB's worked out pretty well for us here, actually spectacularly well. Now, the only thing that I would like to caution people about is that unlike a lot of our other FundKing systems, this one is a pretty fast trader relative to our other systems. If you look at the picks 3 months ago and you see the current picks, you'll notice that there's quite a bit of turnover in the names. We will be adding a module fairly soon right below this that will give you a better idea. The reason I mention this is transaction costs do matter, and for some investors it is not appropriate to enter into a trading system like this that will generate a lot of extra trades. So make sure that you have a good broker and that your expenses are within control and you understand what you're getting into before you embark on a strategy that uses individual equities. Okay, let's go back, and so that's how the system button works. You can also get to it by hitting this one, and this will give you the system results. If you click on one of these buttons, like if you pick CF, that will give you the standard steam gauge hot or cold sort of reading, so it'll give you an idea of what's going. And obviously CF Industries is very hot these days. Now let's go back to the SPDR page. The other thing I wanted to show you was that you can get the constituent stocks of the XLB ETF. And we get that by going here. And here you can see the weightings for each stock, and you can go down. There are 31 of them. You can go down. You see the weighting of each stock, and we put a cumulative number here because a lot of people like to know, well, when do I get to 80%? You know, what are the top, what stocks make up the top 80%? It's very important to take a look at what's in your ETF. Although there's usually a description about the ETF, it's very important, particularly when you do country ETFs and emerging market ETFs, to take a look at what's inside to make sure you know what you're getting. As you can see, this is the weighting of the stock in the ETF, and again, if you want to find out how it ranks, you can go to Freeport McMahon, and that will give you a rating of 34.96. So not bad. Also a pretty good looking, pretty attractive looking investment. So that's how it works. Have a look at this SPDR page. We're quite proud of it. There are a couple different ways that you can play it. And I hope that you found this one interesting, this video review interesting. And thank you very much for taking time to listen to us. This is John from funking.com, and best of luck with your investments.